I already filming. Okay. So it's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello guys, we are in Toronto in UniFi Conference. And Helder, please tell us what we'll do today.
Hi Oleg. So today it's a happy day for us. Not only it's a UniFi conference, but it's a UniFi conference in Toronto. So it's just going to be an amazing day for us as we're all Canadian. We're going to show you how everything is done at the beginning here at the conference. So right now people are coming in and registering for their with the UniFi kiosk system. They got their QR code, so you can see right now that they are scanning their codes and getting their tags. It's going to be an interesting event. Hopefully we'll see some new stuff, some new equipment, and let's come along and see some other people. Okay guys, so you can follow us over here. You're going to see everybody having their coffee, socializing, networking with each other. We're going to have some interviews after the presentation, after we see what's the roadmap for today, and have some tech language. So so some great faces around here, so really well known from the UniFi. We're going to have a coffee too as well, and then we'll do some interviews afterwards, the presentation. Stay along. Hi guys, we have Cody here from Unified IT. Cody, welcome to Canada.
Thank you.
How did you see the UniFi event today in Toronto?
It's just pretty cool. I think it's really good to see that Ubiquiti is continuing to do these events. Like, they've not been super great at outreach in the past, and we're seeing that change because to educate integrators, to educate partners is really important. And then also to take feedback from the audience. Like, you kind of saw on stage, like, people ask questions, and there were literally product people paying attention to those questions and thinking about the future roadmaps.
You see that all the integrators that were here and all over the other events, they have a huge passion for Ubiquiti. They all want Ubiquiti to grow better and have a more solid product. Did you get that feeling here today as well, like you mentioned?
Absolutely. I mean, we're all on this train together, right? So we believe in the vision that Ubiquiti is going after of democratizing IT, creating license-free software, and having compute done at the edge. So you own your hardware. Like, you don't own your FortiGates. You don't own your AutoView or Juniper gear because the vendor owns it, because if the software stops working, your equipment is just a paperweight. And so with Ubiquiti, having that ability to own your hardware truly, I think is really awesome, and it's the right move for the future of the internet and the future of network infrastructure. So I'm really passionate about that. I know other creators are as well, and we're all along this ride together, right?
Yeah, so in this event, in the other past events, conferences, we've seen some products being launched. We didn't see too much this year at this presentation, but what we've seen here was Ubiquiti doing something really interesting, is unifying people. Do you see that every once in a while there's more people being unified with UniFi?
Yeah, you're talking about people like supporting UniFi or like liking the product line and work. Yeah, so 100%. Like, it's a whole community forming here, right? And when you think about like Cisco Live over the many years, like that's been a very large community. And you're seeing this UniFi community that started out of the home lab movement, and it's a couple things. One, it's home labbers that have now become professionals, right? So they started, when they were 16. I don't know about you, but like I remember, I got started in IT because I had a question of why is a network switch bigger than a USB hub, and then now I'm a network engineer, and so it started there. And now these guys are actually running, corporate networks, enterprise networks. The other thing is more traditional folks that are on the Cisco FortiGate side of the house, the Extreme Network side of the house, the Juniper side of the house. They're starting to realize that UniFi actually is enterprise grade, because there's this narrative that's about 5 years out of date for UniFi, and that's people are realizing that UniFi is actually a lot further into that enterprise march than initially thought. And so events like these are great for people to come together and really see that there's a massive opportunity for innovation and for bringing this license-free edge compute technology to a larger audience set and larger set of corporate environments.
Do you think, like after we get to the market, we as a UniFi Ubiquiti get to the market at enterprise, do you see an opportunity for data centers as well?
I would right now, no. And the reason I say is that's a completely different product set, right? When we talk about data centers, we're talking about very high throughput. Now, are there going to be some very scrappy AI innovators that are going to use something like the ECS aggregation, maybe future higher bandwidth switches? Absolutely. Because from a throughput cost perspective, Ubiquiti just not even close, right? But it's really not like data center. When we talk about like AI data centers, like massive scale, that's a completely different product set than an enterprise data center. An enterprise data center, I'm connecting to all my retail sites. It's really just a corporate rack network in a rack, in a cooled environment, in a data center-like environment. Ubiquiti might target that, right? And there you've seen like there was one point where they came out with the leaf switches and the spine leaf, and that was kind of a push. And that they're very focused on enterprise, and they need to maintain that focus because, well, I don't know about you guys, but like in technology and IT, it's very easy to like get distracted with cool ideas and lose focus, right? So as a business person, I struggle with that, and Ubiquiti needs to stay focused on enterprise, and I think they're going to. I think they're going to dominate. Like, this is a march, right? So AI data centers at the upper end probably might make sense at some point just to have a product, because it could be, there's some easy wins there when you look at stuff like some of them like Sonic and things like that. But when we talk about enterprise, like where they are right now is they're upper SMB, they're completely dominating that, right? They are owning that space. They're they're a mid-tier product right now, if we're being honest. Now, that being said, that's going to change, right? Because 5 years ago, they were barely upper SMB, and now they've dominated that. And so what we're going to see, I think the next thing is you're going to see TIPS compliance, you're going to see CGIS compliance, you're going to see just higher capacity firewalls. Like we have EF Core, there's a few more above that. I think that we have to get to be feature comparable with like a Palo. And then just more software enhancements with things like security, IPS and IDS. And like it's very close. Like there's probably 80 things that have to get done before they are 100% feature comparable with like the Palo Alto 7500 or the highest in Cisco gear. But it's a list that is actually attainable. Like most of the work has already been done, which is really exciting. And what I find exciting as someone who's like innovating with UniFi is a lot of the traditional VARs, a lot of the traditional guys don't see this. Like they don't even look at Ubiquiti as a threat, even though it's a massive threat to that traditional space.
So one last question. Last year at the UWC in Miami, I asked Tom from Lawrence Systems, because that's when the enterprise start being presented to everybody. Well, let's say presented some of the switches. I asked him what was his thoughts about presenting the equipment and start launching the equipment to the end user. What was the lifespan, the time of that existing switches are going to come out and those are going to come in. Do you see that from UniFi IT? Do you see that coming to place, those replacements?
Like the timeline, like how long do we... Yeah, so depends on the environment, right? So you can push the gear pretty far. And one of the things that's really nice about Ubiquiti is they support it as long as it's capable. We heard that talked about today. Like, how long does Ubiquiti support their gear? The answer is as long as the hardware is going to go. As long as they can keep pushing those features out, they're going to support that hardware. My rule of thumb is bare minimum, you're going to be good at 5 years. Realistically, 7 years is what you're going to do. Now, that said, if you want to be on the bleeding edge, usually where it makes sense to do a technological upgrade is 4 years, 4 or 5 years. You don't have to, but if you're like, I want the latest and greatest, like we're going to do some upgrades here for some clients that want the best. I think we did 4 years on them, but they always want the best of the best. But people are worried about EOL stuff. Like Ubiquiti continues to support that. And the cool thing with UniFi is maybe there's a use case. Like if Ubiquiti died today, the company, and there was no more support, you can still self-support because it's not cloud-based. And so if there is a use case where you need to self-support something, you can totally do that. Now, I don't recommend doing that. Like, and the cost of the gear is so low that a complete refresh is, I mean, a tenth the cost in some cases, a seventh the cost of some cases of other partners. So or other vendors rather. So it's really not a concern. People bring it up. There was a time in the past where Ubiquiti would kind of have a distraction and they would make a product. I'm not worried about that, right? Especially with enterprise stuff, I think they're very focused and they're very good about communicating those things. And like it's very clear they're going in that right direction. So,
but do you see clients taking out existing switches just to upgrade their gear, or they're going to wait for the end of life of existing equipment to put these enterprise equipment inside?
It depends. So a lot of it revolves around licensing. So if you have a licensing contract that you just signed, what a lot of times we'll do a TCO calculation and we'll see, hey, if you've only done that on a couple switches, but you have newer facilities that we can do UniFi, maybe to make your life easier, we'll just go ahead and replace all the gear. It all depends. It comes back to TCO, right? Ideally, everything's on one platform, makes it easier for the IT department to manage it, but it just comes down to that TCO calculation. And if you can get out of those licensing fees, if there's a licensing renewal up ahead, it does not matter how much you spent on the Meraki gear or whatever. It's going to be more cost effective just to buy new UniFi gear. Even the highest end enterprise SKUs, like the switch stacking stuff, like that stuff, when you actually take into account the licensing cost, Ubiquiti at worst is like a third the cost.
All right, Cody. Thank you very much.
Hey, appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. Hi, guys. We have Filip from Kunsten Technologies. Filip, how did you enjoy this event of your Ubiquiti in Toronto?
It was a lot of informative details about the show, and then I'm super glad that they're finally in Toronto. I mean, it took them a while to get here, but hopefully looking forward to the next one. How about yourself?
Yeah, no, I really liked it. It's an event that just not only unifies product, it unifies people and people that share the same passion, like me and you and all the other integrators as well. And we've seen Ubiquiti coming through a big trip from their starting with the networks, and we're going to enterprise. How do you see Ubiquiti going more in the future with new products?
I mean, the networking space is expanding so much that it's just going to go up. More availability, high availability devices, more enterprise, more sophisticated devices that integrators are not going to have problems. What I'm really impressed with is that Ubiquiti is listening to their users and integrators and trying to always correct things and make it better and try to make things much nicer for everybody.
You think that the customer support got a huge improvement over the years?
Unfortunately, we had a bit of an incident with one of the issues with the equipment, but we got it resolved. And unfortunately, support wasn't really helpful. But I hear from other integrators that support has improved.
Do you see any new products coming in the future? Is there a product that you would like to see Ubiquiti to launch in the future? Doesn't mean that it's anything that they have in the range right now, but something that you would like them to produce?
One of the things is they're expanding slowly their 5G lineup, and I think that's going to be definitely something that they need because everything is now a failover and fail of internet, and it needs to have a high availability, as they call it.
Anything that you want to say to us did you meet a lot of people during this day? A lot of surprises?
Met few people, and you know what? Like you said yourself, it's actually met you for actually second time in person, and you know what? It's nice to see other integrators and other people that are friendly, and get to know people, and it's kind of nice to see somebody who enjoys the same product as you.
Yeah, it's a growing community. Everybody's sharing their knowledge. Thank you, Filip.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Pleasure.
Hi guys, we're here with Monty from InsideWire. Monty, welcome to Toronto.
Thank you.
What did you think about this event from Ubiquiti in Toronto for the first time?
So it was good. It was a good event. It was good to network with a lot of the guys here, meet a lot of people that we've not seen for a little while. So it's good to be in a different location. It's a bit more of a smaller event than it was in Miami or the one in London, for example, but it's really good to see a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a little smaller than the other ones, but what I see in this event is more to network the people in Canada and Toronto. And did you get a lot of contacts around here? Did you get a lot of interactions?
Yeah, so you meet a lot of people that watch my stuff, so it's really good to see them. They interact with you, they say I watch your stuff. So yeah, I mean, I've met quite a few people. I mean, for me, commercially, Toronto's not my area, but yeah, it's good to be, definitely.
Yeah, but you get a feeling of all your subscribers, and you're worldwide, and you see everybody approaching you to see your videos and your feedback from the product and the videos you present with the Ubiquiti product. Do you see upcoming products in the future that you would like to see?
I think there's definitely a focus of where Ubiquiti are going, and I think it was quite evident in what we saw today. So it's very focused around the enterprise area. And I think we're going to see a lot more in there. I mean, there's a few products that were mentioned, so obviously we can't really say too much about, but there is going to be some stuff that's going to be coming soon, which I think is going to make it a lot more exciting, a lot more.
Without talking what we've seen in there, but based on that, and if you had to suggest Ubiquiti to launch a product, do you have any idea what would be that?
So we were kind of talking about this last night on a stream that we did, whereas what we wanted to see, and I think one, not for me personally, but one I've seen a lot of people ask for, not necessarily enterprise, is a dash cam. So something that you could just use, park up, it synchronizes to your MVR, and away you go. I think that's one thing I've seen a lot of people ask for. So who knows?
All right. Thank you, Monty.
Thank you.
Hi guys, we're here with John from TDL Gentek. John, how do you see UniFi Ubiquiti coming to us and make us a visit and do this event here in Toronto?
It's great. I mean, we've been a distributor for Ubiquiti for almost 8 years, 9 years. This is the first time they show up in Toronto. It's a little overdue, but we love that. We love the fact that they did come here. I've gone to Chicago, Miami to see them in the past, but having them here in Toronto is definitely it's a milestone for us as a distributor in Canada, supporting Canadian customers. They're here in Toronto. It's great.
Yeah, not only you guys represent UniFi, you represent other brands, but I've seen you guys in the Canasta shows and other events as well. But here you get to see more of the integrators and be able to talk with them and as dealers, distributors, and installers. So that's a good opportunity for you guys as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, anytime we can get to talk to our customers about Ubiquiti is a big win for us. You know, we've been supporting the product for a long time. We've been through all the changes, the allocations, and everything else that's going on. So it's really good to get feedback from our resellers about how we're doing with Ubiquiti products, and then you know it's really fun to see how the feedback comes from the MSPs and the resellers back to Ubiquiti, because we do that a lot as well on behalf of our resellers, but seeing it live is just the best way of seeing it.
Do you see that Canada is raising up in sales for the UniFi product? Is it growing over the years based on your experience?
Yes, definitely. It's going beyond just the SMB. The ease of use, the ease of management is now something that's expected in all sizes of companies, not just small companies. And so as things progress, no licensing is a huge benefit for all size customers. And so it's really starting to take home. It's coming home. It's really, you know, we're seeing a lot of growth now, and we expect a lot over the next couple of years.
Yeah, so Magma Networks is one of your clients. We actually purchased from you guys, from TDL Gentek. And we have a great relationship. Besides that, I wanted to just bring it up in this video. You not only do sales, you do more than sales to your clients. Can you just phrase some of the services you provide?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we have a lot of different backgrounds within our company. We supported a lot of the wireless ISP products. That's how we became a Ubiquiti distributor. It was with the WISP technology. So we bring together not only Ubiquiti products, but everything that's required around it. So J-arms and towers, everything for the outdoor stuff. On the UC side, we have a long-standing tradition of being one of the best UC value-add distributors in Canada. So we do provisioning, we do kitting, we make it easy for customers to deploy. We do drop ships all over the country for projects. And so there's a lot of that value add that we bring. With Ubiquiti, it's about inventory, it's about getting in the right place at the right time. 3 warehouses in Canada, the ability to pick up the product. There's a lot of things, and we're now adding more and more technical resources and support as well.
All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Hi, guys. We have Jesse here from tabGeeks. Jesse, how was your day here at the UniFi Toronto event?
It was great. It was short. I wish there was more.
Yeah, no, there was not too many things, but there was a huge community over here. Was glad that Ubiquiti came to Canada, and we got to see the community here in Toronto. Do you think more events like this all over the world should be presented from Ubiquiti?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest rounds of applause that got was one of the comments at the end, just standing up and saying, thank you, Ubiquiti, for coming to Canada. Obviously, the community is really strong. We do this because we love it. We work with these products and with these tools because we love working with them, because it's a good experience. And a lot of what made Ubiquiti great over the years was the community of people working together, helping figure out problems, figuring out how to build bigger, greater, and now Ubiquiti is on their end, building bigger and greater and going up the channel to enterprise and whatnot, and that only continues, and I look forward to see where it's going.
Yeah. Jesse, I've been asking this question to a few people, is if you could decide a product release for Ubiquiti, what would that be? What's a product that you would wish to see Ubiquiti presenting?
All right, I'm going to get a lot of love for this one in the comments. I want a new wireless doorbell. I want a Wi-Fi version of G6 version of the G4 wireless doorbell that runs on local doorbell power. None of this PoE business. I love the PoE stuff, but on my house, I have a cable that goes up into the rafters somewhere. I cannot find it. I swear it's powered by energy from the universe. I don't know where the other end of it, but it works. And my Wi-Fi, of course, is phenomenal in my house, but the doorbell is still the G4, and if I drill into my door, my wife will literally kill me. So please, Ubiquiti, myself and many other people, even here, have asked for a new version of a Wi-Fi doorbell.
Yeah, that's definitely true. We've been missing that, and it's out of stock for quite a long time.
Yep.
Hopefully they'll bring something new to us, or at least the old one back at some point.
Yeah. Well, the image processor upgrade from G4 to G6 is such a massive step up that I want a G6 version of it. Don't even bring the old version back. Just cancel that, delete it from the store, give me the new one. Done.
All right, Jesse, would you move to Canada at all or no?
I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable where I am. Southern California has really nice weather, especially where I am in Long Beach. It's like this microcosm of amazing weather. Even if there's like a storm in LA, it doesn't hit us. We get a couple clouds, they go by, and we wave. Bye-bye, clouds. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm a little spoiled where I am.
No, it's understandable, but you know that you're always welcome here to Toronto. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and thank you for coming.
Yeah, definitely. And next time, it looks like we're going to have you probably back on our turf, hopefully at the next Miami event or wherever they announce it's going to be, whenever it's going to be, but we'll see you there.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, we're here with Cody from Mactelecom. Cody, how was it receiving Ubiquiti UniFi in Toronto today?
It was amazing. It was about 300 people here, so that was a great turnout. We're hoping maybe they do it next year. It's the first one here in Canada. It's bigger than I expected, and hopefully it only grows from here.
Did you see a lot of people coming to you and from Toronto? Was it a nice way to see the community in Toronto from your videos?
Absolutely. Like, I met a lot of people from Ontario in general, but there was also a lot of people who came out of country. A lot of people came from Houston, there are people coming from New York, and then we had obviously in-country Alberta, which they made a long drive just for the Ubiquiti World Conference in Toronto.
Great. Cody, you did a presentation of a case study today at the Ubiquiti conference here. Would you like to talk about a little bit about those projects?
Sure. The case study that I did was for the Jelani Place, which is a co-working space / they have a cafe in the middle of it. So this co-working space, there were challenges with it when they started off with 25 cables and we went up to 300. They really love their network gear. They need camera security, and we needed to somehow integrate an app to give them Wi-Fi for when they purchase time for the co-working space. It's amazing space, and you'll have to see more in my video.
Great. Okay, guys. So don't forget to follow Mactelecom and Cody, and go see the video from his case study, and stay with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Hey guys. So we're wrapping up the Toronto UniFi event, and I have with me Kyle and Josh. Kyle, present yourself to our.
Hey, I'm Kyle from London Tech Solutions. We're an integrator in the London market. We do a lot of UniFi deployments. We're doing some AJAX installations. We do alarm systems, networking, access control. So yeah, the full gamut of integrations there.
Great, Josh.
My name is Josh. I'm from OnHive. We are also a UniFi dealer and a professional. We deploy UniFi networks, access control, a lot of AV and automation, and lighting control as well. And so we do a gambit of basically automation systems and systems integration.
Great. Guys, this was the first Ubiquiti UniFi event in Toronto. What's your... How did you feel about all this event? Was a good event for networking, for getting collaborations with everybody, and getting more integration with Ubiquiti?
Yeah. It's exciting that they're starting to pay attention to the Canadian market a bit, bringing events down here. Met with some great MSPs, some other integrators here, some exciting new product launches and stuff that are kind of filling out the gaps in the UniFi lineup that we're excited about. Overall a great event. It's just nice to be around people, like-minded individuals that share the same interests and passions.
Yeah. And you, Josh?
Yeah, I think it's great that Ubiquiti came to Canada. I like their tech stack. They seem to be integrating various lines. They got the AV line coming in. They have the network line. They're going to enterprises as well. So they're expanding their lines and building out the security lineup as well. So I think overall it becomes a good solution for AV companies, MSP companies, and IT. And so I think it's going in a good direction.
Yeah, so I've been doing the questions in this order. I'm going to flip it around a little bit to give it a chance to Kyle to think about the next one. So I've been asking some of the people if you could suggest a product for Ubiquiti to present, like in the UniFi family product. Is there something that you would like them to produce and bring to the market?
I think something for hotels, for room access, or it could also be for condos. We've seen deployment of Alfred locks for large rental condo units or rental-specific apartments. I think something of that nature would be a good add-on for the Ubiquiti line of products.
And you Kyle?
Yeah, so also coming from like a similar AV space as Josh there, hoping that they build out their like pro AV line of stuff. So right now they've got the AV Bridge, which is pretty geared towards like AV professionals, so more like, you know, stadiums or hotels type solutions, but you know, breaking into the residential market with like a light version of that maybe has you know, some features that are more geared towards like home AV systems, I think would be a cool build out for that line and would be something that we would definitely implement for sure.
Okay, great. Actually going to share my thoughts about it. Haven't shared my thought about a product, and I would suggest Ubiquiti to develop, since we're going into the AV family products, conference system. I think Ubiquiti is more for the corporations, for SMBs, so having a reliable conference system will be great for a boardroom.
Solution, yeah, I think that would be a good line as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Albert.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Nice meeting you guys.
So we got to the end of our first Toronto UniFi event. It was great to see all the people from Canada and some other places of the world that came to this event today. It was great to network with everybody, see some products, get in touch with some of the equipment that we have. We got some interviews from lots of people that are UniFi passions as well. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Pipl Systems, Magma Networks. So you're tuned up with the new videos upcoming that we're going to have being posted. And don't forget to reach us if you have any consulting issues, if you need some designs for your projects, network, or anything like that. We're here to help you. And please follow us and stay tuned.
Need a security system installed? Finding a trusted, qualified integrator isn't easy. Pipl Systems is a platform to find verified professional security integrators. Browse by location, see real projects, and choose a company you can actually trust. Pipl Systems. Find your trusted security integrator today.